Today's deck testing video is going to take a look at yet another one of the new 3-color combinations. This time it's going to be Guildsworn. And Guildsworn is interesting because to me, I think that there are a million ways you can actually play Guildsworn. I think that you can do a tokens variant, which is what we're going to be playing today. But I do think that you could play mid-range. I think you could play a prophecy-heavy version. Think like Prophecy Mage and Prophecy Battle Mage combined. I think that you could play control with something like Unstoppable Rage. I think that the sky is the limit with Guildsworn because it's a very flexible set of 3 colors. But today we're going to be taking a look at what I call the token version. And I call it that because this is essentially a token Crusader shell along with like a token Mage shell kind of combined. There's some cool interactions that occur when you can, get the extra cards kind of jammed in there. Things like Sataning Courier that I'm already in love with. It's actually pretty good when you're trying to buff the board. That 0-1 body ends up mattering. Things like Iron giving you back Crusader's Assault, being able to play willpower tokens but also drop Merrick near your top end is kind of interesting. So anyway, this is the list, and as always there's going to be a deck code in the video description as well, so if you wanted to take a look, this is it. And this has been pretty good for me on the ladder so far. I've had some decent success with it, but doesn't mean that we're going to this time. As always, we're going to play 2 games, win or lose. Or even if I win or lose and there are play mistakes, they're going to make it into the video. I don't stop and then restart just because I made a play mistake. And I don't hide it in editing. We just do it. Alright, so this is an interesting dilemma. We're going first, and we're a deck that runs a healthy number of 1-drops, and we don't have one. But we do have Dawnbreaker, which is a unique legendary, and against Daggerfall, there's a potential list of targets that we could hit with one of those, but sadly I do think it goes back because we really want early game here. It's really... that's the worst. When you throw back a bolt, and then you get a bolt anyway. And I was trying to find 1-drop, so I threw back something. Like, I would much rather have just kept the Dawnbreaker at that point. And our hand is not getting much better. This is actually, I know it looks kind of weird, but this is a clunky start for this deck. This particular deck is actually capable of a large number of explosive starts, in my opinion. And we're actually going to go with the Harpy here, because we want to prevent the Daggerfall from doing something, but also, in my opinion, we want to set up Pit Lion here. And even taking it a step further, yeah, I was going to say, we don't know what kind of Daggerfall we're up against, but that actually tells me an awful lot about the kind of Daggerfall deck that we're up against. So Pit Lion is likely not going to be our friend here. Which makes me sad because it's one of the best cards that we can like run in the deck, but this tells me this is very likely a slower controlling Daggerfall Covenant. I have seen a couple of them that have been running like Unstoppable Rage, things like that. That's a good pickup for us. We don't have any actions in the discard pile, so our choice is essentially Fervor that buffs these or Clan Captain that buffs these. We could play the Clan Captain over here just to develop the Lion, but all things considered, because we need to punch through this, and because it saturates our Magicka the best, we're just going to go ahead and do this. Now, it does mean we're going to lose the Candle Hearth here, but again, not much we can do, sadly. We are off to an incredibly disappointing and slow start for our token deck. Wow, and the Harpy. This is our worst nightmare. We've basically just lost complete control of the board. So we're gonna do this over here, see if we can get some help. We're gonna also go ahead with this Pit Lion. We're gonna save this till the following turn, but the following turn we're likely looking at like an Orc Clan Captain. And the reason that we're saving this is just because we're coming up on potentially Ice Storm, and while I don't expect them to play it here, if we dumped these, they might play it. And the 2 extra damage, I'm not 100% convinced is worth it. Yep, drive mad. Sadly, the pit lion is too little too late. Yeah, we are fighting a really uphill battle, but this was a god's awful hand for us, sadly. Alright. Well, now we're desperately wishing that we had actually played our firebrand the last time, huh? Well, nothing we can do about it now. Hindsight being what it is. This still dies to lightning bolt, but I'm comfortable with playing it because it survives ice storm at the moment. But all around, we kind of have to all in because we're so far behind tempo-wise. Like, it's turn 7 and they still have 4 of their 5 runes. Everything that can go wrong has went wrong for us at this point. Yeah, we'll take the Merrick here. We would have liked it on a full board, but at this point we also can't really do beggars can be choosers. Now, the fact that we got 2 stolen pants though is actually pretty funny to me. That's kind of fantastic actually, and a decent amount of value for us. Again, like, ice storm can occur at any moment, and with 8 magic and now they could ice storm and then also clear up whatever's left. And sadly, we'll get no pants value out of ice storm, but we really just need to get them low enough that we can maybe finish them off, because we have the bolt and then iron to get us back a bolt, because as of right now that's still our only action, so it will be 100% bolt chance to return. And that sometimes happens with this deck. This deck runs, I think it's somewhere between like 12 and 15 or 16 actions. Sometimes you're just getting back like scouting patrols and things like that.
I slay the unworthy.
And I assume we're going to see a crossbow on that lethal. I mean, we hope not, but I assume that's what we're going to see. Oh, all right. We're in a pretty good position here, actually. This worked out pretty well for us, all things considered. Raiding Party's a fantastic pickup, but I think we're gonna wait because actually no, hold on. Let's do this first. There's a strong chance we just win here. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, right?
Ready to die.
Yeah, we're just gonna win, so never mind. We'll do it with the Raiding Party. The train of thought there was Raiding Party. We wanted to get Lightning Bolt back instead of Raiding Party. But Raiding Party and Iron could both be played in the same turn, and actually Raiding Party is 3 magicka worth 6 at that point if you play them both to the right, whereas Lightning Bolt is 4 for 4, so needed my my mouth to catch up with my brain there. But nonetheless, that was a really clunky hand, and we pulled it out. So thank you, Merrick, for coming off the top of the deck and bringing some stolen apparel with you. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the second game. And again, we're up against Daggerfall. Okay. This is going to be our theme. And again, I don't think we want any of these. We want 1-drops if we can find them, but also we want our prophecies in our deck. And Merrick is the second most expensive card in our deck. We don't want to start with that. There we go. There's a 1-drop. I knew we had him in here.
Soldiers, report. Your orders. Your orders.
Your orders. My orders are to carry those stones around. So we are hoping.
The longer the odds,
all right.
the sweeter.
So they answer pretty effectively. Now, a couple of ways we can handle this. We could use a Steel Scimitar to trade, but usually the rule of thumb is that you want to saturate your magicka and you want to develop your board. So if they take the value trade, nothing we can do about it, really. So we're going to go this route instead. They're going to come here because then they can get their value trade there. So we have a decision now between, do we want Eldora on the board or Raiding Party? Raiding Party gives us more value now, but Eldora, if we then play Raiding Party, has a chance to like buff Skywag.
Sniveling
So
coward.
we'll see. It's also going to depend on what this prophecy is. This is a nightmare for us.
Close
First room
ranks, let
prophecy.
nothing through.
This is going to buff over here for sure. And
I hear and obey.
I think that might alter our plan. So we can use Raiding Party to also trade into this next turn. We have no way to keep this alive, and I don't think the 4 damage worth that to the face is necessarily worth it. So yeah, we're gonna go with the Eldora here. We're gonna go with Eldora, and the dream is that we either draw an action or a support, because Raiding Party will feed us a creature next turn, so, or an item. Basically, we just don't want to draw a creature if we're trying to buff Eldora. Or Skywag, excuse me. Alright, well.
Make your peace, dog.
Go get them, Skywag.
Sadly for us, dream not met. So now we have to decide how we want to handle things. We have a lot of trading potential here and slowing things down. We could also use Steel Scimitar and Halalu Sharpshooter to shut this down. I mean, we're going to take a lot of damage if we don't try to peel these two off. But I feel like that shutting this down and keeping pace is fine, because if we top deck something like another Orc Clan Captain or 5th Legion Trainer, then our Raiding Party will allow us to trade even harder over there. And if I play the Sharpshooter over here, they'll for sure take the value trade with the Mammoth. So this is going to go here, and then we're going to Sharpshooter this. It's just a question on placement.
The treasure will be ours.
We're going to attack first. It's one of those, like, do I think that I can race them, or do I want to contest? I think I want to contest. Again, it's going to just end up eating the Mammoth here, but that means Mammoth only attacks for 1, and if we can kind of slow him down while keeping pace, I think that's a pretty big deal at the moment. Harpy's a pretty good pickup for us.
This day is mine.
Alright, well, they're still going to get this here. Not much I can do about that, sadly. Another Sharpshooter's a good pickup. Alright, so let's just go ahead and let's take this trade.
The treasure will be ours.
This is sadly drawing a creature, so
The treasure will be ours.
let's get in here.
We press
Get in here with our Raiding Party, and we can take out the Mammoth.
Let's do this.
I think is probably correct.
Highest of all to eat.
And then we're even, so Rifthane would not get guard. Could have played Rifthane early if we wanted to go that route, but a deck like Daggerfall is more likely to have something like Negation, which would wreck us. And we just want to trade and slow things down a bit if we can help it. Now the unfortunate thing here is we have this Sharpshooter, but it actually does nothing over here. I mean, we can take this out. That's about it. So
The treasure
let's go ahead and attack with Eldora first. And then we'll take this draw here. Because right now, if we don't trade with something on the board, a single lightning bolt or battle mace or whatever kills us. That being said, they still have other ways they can come up with the damage, like lightning bolt and steel scimitar would be enough to get it done, so on and so forth. There's a lot of options, but I do feel like ultimately we're going to have to pull that off the board. I just wish that we could have pulled this off the board, but beggars sadly cannot be choosers, so
I only need
we're going to go ahead and just poke this. Sorry, Skywag. We don't have enough for lethal, so we have to do our best to prevent lethal. So there's the lightning bolt that we were talking about.
Time to go. Your time has come.
All right, well, I think right now we don't have a way to kill this. And while we can trade here, we also can't stop that. I think we take the Merrick here and then see what happens.
By Stendar's breath, we are ready for
Is it gonna be... Oh, that staff is so good for us. Because we have lethal technically on the board, I don't think we deal the 2 damage to the face. We take an insurance policy, because if we hit a prophecy here and it interrupts our
You
lethal,
fight like a child.
then that would have been an issue since it wasn't needed for lethal. So I think that killing that creature there is correct, but all right. Merrick coming to the rescue a little bit there. And anyway, that's it. You kind of get the idea. It's meant to be like a token deck. You go wide, you play aggressively. We didn't get to see some of the fun things like the new Cavalier, but hopefully you get the gist of it. Like I said, there will be a deck code in the video description. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. And until next time, may you walk on warm sands.